This video is a thought experiment to consider how a greenway might be assessed biophilically, and loosely follows Terrapin Bright Green's case studies as a point of departure. This is Little Sugar Creek watershed viewed from its outfall at the county border. In the distance, you can just make out uptown Charlotte and Little Sugar's headwaters. Next, we will look at Raleigh's Walnut Creek. Downtown Raleigh is visible in the upper right fringe of Walnut's watershed. Just visible in the bottom right corner is Walnut's receiving stream, the Neuse River. Bear in mind that Charlotte, in the upper left, has a population of roughly 800,000, while Raleigh, on the lower right, has roughly 400,000 citizens. Let's compare figure ground maps. And with streams and greenways added, Walnut Creek watershed has a trail network. Let's look at the parks next. Urban design calls for pedestrian accessibility to green open spaces, and biophilic cities call for everyone to have contact with nature. There seems to be a similar distribution of parks. Let's compare the urban forests. On your upper left, note Charlotte's watershed in the process of urban infill, and then Raleigh's developing suburban watershed. Comparing tree canopies, you can see Walnut Creek's tree-covered watershed could contribute more ecosystem services to its connected streams and the associated greenways. This graphic from Terrapin's 14 patterns is included for future reference. Terrapin Bright Green, their 14 patterns, are a great starting point for a categorical survey or assessment. The first column, or category, is probably the most straightforward and includes visual connection with nature, non-visual connection, sensory stimuli, thermal and air flow, water, light, and natural systems. Let's look at one example for each of the three categories of patterns. Nature in the space is biophilically attractive, but is landscaping sustainable? In the natural analogs category, biophilic forms are Terrapin's first pattern. A growing mystery on the right, and to your lower left, a question of risk-peril or refuge. Biophilia describes a human aesthetic. Identifying authentic biophilic patterns can be learned. I-40 crosses and divides the lower Walnut watershed and is a straightforward example of habitat fragmentation. Is this the most biophilic bridge? All right, opening the floor for questions.